The lights in the hospital flicker, casting long shadows across the cold, empty halls. Faint whispers echo from the darkness, growing louder with every step. Suddenly, a bone-chilling sound cuts through the silence. Something is moving in the shadows. This is no ordinary place. This hospital doesn't just house the dead. It brings them back to life. What I discovered inside will haunt you long after the video ends. As I stepped inside, the air felt thick and suffocating, like it was pressing against my chest. The faint smell of antiseptic mixed with the unmistakable scent of decay clung to the walls, as if the very building itself was alive with dark history. The hospital seemed to hum with an energy that didn't feel natural, an energy that made every step feel heavier than the last. Locals warn of a sinister force here, a place where the dead don't stay dead. But tonight, I'm going to uncover the terrifying truth hidden deep within these cursed walls. As I passed the old ICU, something caught my eye, an eerie shadow moving across the room. But there was no one there. It wasn't human. It wasn't alive. This hospital was abandoned years ago after a horrifying experiment failed, a desperate attempt to bring the dead back to life. Rumors have circulated for years that the experiment succeeded, but not in the way anyone had hoped. Doctors who worked here mysteriously vanished, and patients began acting strangely. Some were even seen moving long after being declared dead. The whispers grew louder. Locals, too scared to return, share stories of what happened here. One man said, "I heard screams at night, but when I checked, the beds were empty." Another chilling account came from a former nurse. "I saw my friend walk out of the morgue, but it wasn't him anymore." The hospital's darkest secret lies in room 309, a sealed room where the most terrifying experiments took place. No one who's entered room 309 has ever come back the same, they say. No one dares to speak more of it. But I'm about to go inside. As I ventured deeper into the hospital, each step felt heavier, as if the very air around me was charged with something ancient and malevolent. In a forgotten corner, I found an old journal, its pages yellowed with age. The entries were chilling, describing successful reanimations. But the language grew more erratic with each page. The doctor's words seemed frantic, as if they were racing against something they couldn't control. A cold draft suddenly passed by me, and for a moment, I thought I felt something unseen brush against my skin. The tension was unbearable, but I pressed on, determined to uncover the truth. The silence was broken only by the sound of my footsteps echoing through the empty halls. Then, from somewhere deep within the hospital, a faint, crackling noise reached my ears. An old medical tape recorder playing a doctor's panicked voice. "We've done something we can't undo." My heart raced as I continued forward. The walls seemed to close in around me, and just as I turned a corner, I froze. A wheelchair, abandoned in the hallway, began to move on its own. The lights above flickered violently, and in the reflection, for a split second, I thought I saw a figure standing right behind me. I spun around, but the hall was empty, save for the chilling echoes of my own breath. I tried to leave, but something was wrong. Every hallway led me back to the same place, back to that sealed room, room 309. It was as if the hospital itself was trapping me, forcing me to face whatever dark force lingered within. My mind raced. Was I already too deep? Was it already too late to escape? The fear was palpable, and I could feel the darkness closing in. I stood in front of room 309, my heart hammering in my chest. The door creaked, as though it had been waiting for me. With one final breath, I pushed it open. What I saw inside sent a cold shiver down my spine. The room was lined with rows of hospital beds, each one occupied by a figure that appeared lifeless. But as I stepped closer, I realized the horrifying truth. Their eyes, they were open but glazed, following my every movement. They weren't dead, not completely. The terror sank in. this wasn't just about reviving the dead. No, the experiment had been far more twisted. The doctors hadn't sought to bring people back. They had tried to create something entirely new, something unnatural. These beings were neither alive nor dead. They existed in a state between the two, their souls trapped in a nightmarish purgatory. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. These weren't patients anymore. They were entities, creatures born from an abomination of science and dark intentions. I couldn't breathe. I knew I had to leave. My legs felt like lead, and I turned to run. But as I did, I heard it. A voice. Soft at first, barely a whisper, but then it grew louder, clearer. "Come closer!" My blood ran cold as I froze in place. The voice, it was calling my name. My body refused to move as I realized the source. One of the figures in the beds, its lips barely moving, yet the words echoed in my mind. And then, before I could process what was happening, the door slammed shut behind me, trapping me inside. The world around me spun as I struggled to control my panic, knowing that there was no escape. Not anymore. The terror was real, and it wasn't just inside the room. It was now a part of me. As I stumbled out of room 309, the nightmare I had just uncovered lingered in my mind like a haunting melody, echoing with every step. What I found in that hospital wasn't just a mystery. It was a nightmare that I may never escape. Those eyes, following me, the chilling whispers, and the eerie feeling of being watched. They're all still with me, even now. But the truth remains unanswered. Do the revived patients still haunt these halls? Or is it the hospital itself, alive in some twisted way, feeding on the souls of those brave or foolish enough to step inside? The terror I encountered that night wasn't just about the past. It's something that may never die. What would you do if you found yourself trapped in a place like this? Share your thoughts below. And for more spine-chilling explorations, hit subscribe and join me on the next journey into the unknown. Stay safe, and remember, some places are better left undisturbed.